Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Nokia X20, the latest Nokia phone launched in 2021 and possibly one of the most powerful of the recent half a dozen handsets they debuted. It's still in the mid-range department, it's one of the few with Android One on board and a promise of 3 years of Android upgrades. Also it has a familiar CPU I've seen 2 or 3 times before, Qualcomm Snapdragon 480 5G, the minimum that Qualcomm offers you to have a 5G device in the mid-range segment. This is the handset. We have it in the blue version. Would have preferred the bronze one, but we'll deal with what we got. So the price is $399. It's quite costly considering the specs are pretty similar to the ones of the OnePlus Nord N200 launched in USA recently at a more affordable rate. As you can see here, we have the Android One logo at the boot, and as the device boots up, and don't worry, I've already set it up, let's see what's inside the box. First things first, we can see here that there is the key used to access the slots, shiny and hidden by this let's say band-aid of sort. A lot of manuals and information and warranty and safety guides. Also an interesting compostable case, so you can easily recycle it. Not my favorite pattern, but pretty solid and tough, used to protect your device. I should probably also mention that the device was unveiled back in April and should hit the market pretty soon, unless it already has. You're informed here that in this box you'll find a compostable case instead of a wall charger, so this feels light exactly for that reason. There's no charger, but we do have a cable going from USB-C to USB-A. The trend of not having chargers started by Apple, reached Samsung and now Nokia as well. So if you have a problem with that, take it up with the ones who made it trendy. At the same time, it's supposed to save the Earth and make life on our planet more manageable, and also save some money for these companies. Now back to the phone itself. As I said before, it has 2 hues. It's supposed to be inspired by the knights in the Scandinavian area where Nokia comes from. As you can see, we have a Zeiss inscription here, and I think it's time we talked about the design. It's a rather massive phone with big bezels all around, including the chin, which you can see here, and it's quite prominent. The device is made of plastic, and it's a softer kind of plastic, one that doesn't feel like it's going to draw many fingerprints, but that remains to be seen. On the measurement side, it's quite a beefcake, 9.1 millimeters and 220 grams. While moving to the front side, I already told you that we're dealing with quite the display here. This one is a IPS LCD panel with a diagonal of 6.67 inches. It's got a resolution of 2400 over 1080 pixels and Gorilla Glass 5 protection, as well as the 20:9 aspect ratio. You can see here at the top of the forehead, in the middle of the screen, a punch hole, and around that punch hole is an U-shaped cutout in the screen protection already applied from the factory. So IPS LCD 6.67 inches and no gimmicks. I mean, there's no high refresh rate, no HDR, nothing like that. And if you want to see what's inside, we have an app. And the CPU shown here is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 480. It's an 8nm octa-core chip. It's the same one as the one seen on the Moto G50, as well as the OnePlus Nord N200 5G. We have here the version which provides you with, let's see, we're lucky enough to have the one with 8 gigs of RAM. There's also one with 6, and there's 128 gigabytes of storage plus micro SD. As far as the battery is concerned, you probably imagine it's something like 5000 mAh. Well, you're wrong. It's actually 4470 mAh. At least it can charge at 18 watts, and I'm going to be testing that with my own 18-watt charger bundled with the iPhone 11 Pro. At the bottom side, you can find the speaker, the singular one. There's no stereo here. USB-C port, microphone and audio jack. At the top side, another microphone. On the right side, there's the volume buttons and a flat power button which embeds the fingerprint scanner, while at the other side there's an extra button, the Google Assistant one, next to the SIM tray. Okay, so I think we're about done and we can easily talk about connectivity. So this device should provide you with the usual suspects. I'm talking about Wi-Fi dual band. There's also 4G and 5G, USB-C 2.0, there's Bluetooth 5.0, and we also have NFC for your payments needs. You can also cast stuff via Chromecast, GPS, and from what I've heard, FM radio is also here, and yes, it is something rare nowadays. As far as the camera is concerned, there are some interesting features which you won't find on other phones. For example, we have a 32 megapixel front camera and a quad back camera with a design which reminds me of the Nokia phones launched over the past year and a half or so. So it's a round setup with Zeiss in the middle. You got LED flash here, have a 64 megapixel main shooter, 5 megapixel ultra wide, and those two little fellows, each 2 megapixel in size, one macro and one bokeh. You can film up to Full HD and 30 frames per second, and I expected that for the price of almost $400 we would have gotten 4K, but no luck with that. This is the interface we're getting. We have a special cinema mode, which I've already seen on other Nokia phones. You can see here the frame rate and the bit rate. This is the video section, and you also have wind noise reduction on and some OZO technology in the mix. Photo section, portrait section, a night mode, and an extra mode area with dual sight. You can use both the front and the back camera, macro, time-lapse, pro, and panorama. There's also an H-log feature which allows you to colorize your capture after taking them using, Google Photos. So once again, you're getting 3 years of updates. What we've got here is Android 11 in a pretty stock and clear version with Android One part of the experience. I don't think I forgot anything, and if I have, there is a text unboxing and surely soon the text review. For me, this is a pretty bulky and massive phone with some compromises. For example, the ultra-wide camera shouldn't have been 5 megapixel, should have been 8 megapixel, and also with a rather large price and without 4K capture, which seems like a miss here. Okay, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see how this device behaves in our tests, and we'll be back with a full review pretty soon. Till then, don't forget to visit gsnow.com for the latest news, unboxings, and reviews. That's it from us. Bye bye.